Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a full day wear test of the new Givenchy Prisme Libre Skin Caring Glow Foundation. I purchased it off of the Sephora site in the shade 2-N120, and I'm on the Sephora site now because I wanted to get a little bit more information for you. It is $49, and I'm trying to figure out how many shades there are. It looks like there are 30 different shades. And the coverage is light, the finish is radiant. All of these things are music to my ears. And there was something, I thought there was something in here about like having a certain percentage of like natural ingredients. And it kind of reminded me of the Guerlain L'Essentiel foundation that came out maybe a couple years ago at this point, where they had like, I don't know, 96% natural ingredients, something like that. Of course, I cannot find that information now. Well, let me just at least read to you what's on here. The highlighted ingredients: glycerin from plants, so that provides 24 hours of hydration. Nasturtium extract provides up to a 12-hour glow. And then oil derived from coconut comforts skin. So there's coconut oil in here. Oh, okay. So sorry, I thought I was going crazy because I thought I had read somewhere that there's a certain percentage of natural ingredients in this foundation. It doesn't say anything of the sort on Sephora, but as I did a search here, I see that it features 97% of its ingredients from natural origin. All right. Sounds good. So the packaging is quite lovely, and I'm assuming there's a pump. Yep, there is a pump at the top. I am going to go ahead and use a brush to apply it. I just read on the Sephora site you can use your fingers, you can use a brush, you can use sponge, whatever you feel comfortable with. I prefer a brush generally when it comes to foundation. So I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown full coverage face brush, and I'm going to pump. God, what is my hair doing today? Apologies. I'm going to pump a little bit of this out onto the back of my hand, and it has a nice creamy texture, not too thin. It's kind of taking its time running down my hand. I'm going to pick some up with the brush and apply. Hopefully this is a good shade match. It looks a little light. Well, as we get down here, I am pretty light, so this may be a good match. Oh, I smell maybe like a little bit of fragrance, just something. It just kind of smells fresh. It doesn't really smell odd or anything. All right, so here is, I forgot my shade already, 2-N120. So I think that does work. Let me see how it's described on the Sephora site. So it's described as light with neutral undertones, and that's usually like the description I go for. So I think it's fairly accurate. Yeah, I think it's fairly accurate. All right, let me just finish kind of applying to this half of my face. And I really like that this is supposed to be a light, radiant foundation. It is typically what I like to go for. All right, so there it is. It's definitely, I would say it's like a light medium coverage. I wouldn't call it light. Light to me is like barely perceptible. This actually has some decent coverage. I'm sure you can see how it's like really evened out my skin tone over here. So I would say it has a light medium coverage. And in terms of radiance, I think it definitely isn't matte or dry looking or whatever. I would say it's just a touch more radiant than something I would describe as skin-like finish. But I wouldn't call this radiant. You know, I've had foundations where you put it on, it almost looks like you've mixed like highlighter in there. That's what I would call radiant. So interesting. So yeah, I mean, I would say it just has like a really subtle kind of natural glow to it. You know, this actually reminds me, if you watched yesterday's video, kind of reminds me of the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. It just has a really natural, subtle kind of glow. And I did prep my skin, you know, just with my regular skincare. I didn't put any primer down because I wanted to see what this foundation was like all on its own. So maybe if I put a really moisturizing or kind of glowy primer down, it may amp up the radiance in the foundation. But all by itself, I would say it's like a very subtle radiant. And for those of you who maybe are new to my channel, I am 47 going on 48, and I have dry, sensitive skin, just for your reference. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the rest of what I had pumped out. I think I need a little bit more. I probably did like a full pump on the back of my hand, and now I just pumped out another half pump. So with a brush, I think that is probably all you'll need for your entire face. All right, so there it is, applied to my entire face. I do think the shade is a good match. Again, I'm gonna stick with like a light medium coverage, and it has like a subtle kind of luminosity to it. It's really lovely. So far, I'm really, really liking it. Let me take a close look here and see what it's doing like in my problem areas. All right. Oh, wow. It's actually sitting on my skin really nicely. So my problem areas, and I think this is probably common for most of us, it's kind of around the tip of my nose. There's a lot going on. The skin's a little bit different. It's a little bit oilier than the rest of my face. We've got crevices, but it looks really, really good around the tip of my nose. And I have also suffered from eczema, and I do have some like eczema scarring up along my forehead hairline, and sometimes mascara, sometimes foundation does not sit well on those areas, but this is actually sitting really, really well. Like sometimes my skin ends up looking a little scaly when the foundation kind of doesn't smooth out the texture. So that looks really, really nice. I'm very impressed with that. It looks really great so far. Well, when I do foundation wear tests, I generally forego concealer because I don't want to, you know, kind of mix it up and try and decipher what's what. So I'm just going to leave off concealer. As for powder, I'm going to powder half of my face. Again, because I have dry skin, I feel like if I don't have to powder, I don't want to. So I'm going to powder half of my face. And as we go along with my day, I will see how the unpowdered side is, and if it holds up nicely, then I'll know it's something I won't need to powder in the future. So let me grab some of the Givenchy Prisme Libre loose powder to set half of my face. All right, so I have the shade number 3. It's the Voile Rosé. I've got my Xoxo 802 brush, and just gonna start around my eyes and brush away any excess here. All right, I do see a little bit of mattifying on the powdered side, obviously, but this powder has a really lovely, like very soft satin sheen to it. I really like the finish of it. So anyway, I'm gonna say it out loud just so I remember, but I powdered the right half of my face. So powdered, unpowdered. I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back for just like a really quick check-in, and then we'll go about my day. All right, makeup is done. So it's been, you know, like about 45 minutes since I started filming, put the foundation on, but let's do another quick little check here. Yeah, everything looks great. I will say, I think I like the side with the powder on a little bit more. It just, my skin looks a little bit smoother in general, but it will be nice to see like how this foundation wears without the powder, just in case I just don't feel like putting powder on. It'll be nice to know how it's gonna wear. But yeah, so far the foundation looks great. So, oh, I didn't even tell you what time it is. It is about 8:30 now. So let's just say we started at around 8 o'clock. So we started around 8 o'clock today, and hopefully I'll be able to do like a 9-10 hour check-in. I'm an early birdie, but like hopefully I'll be able to do a 9-10 hour wear test. But let's go ahead and take a look at my first check-in, which I will do in natural lighting. Hi, doing my check-in. It is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm obviously in natural lighting here in my car, and I think this foundation really looks fantastic. I do feel like the side without powder does look a little bit more radiant, to be expected, but both sides are wearing really, really well. I actually just took a mask off and it looks fine. I don't feel like I see like any removal of the foundation or anything. Yeah, I think everything is looking really good. Let me get some different lighting angles here. Yeah, I think everything looks really great. So it's been, what is that? 5 hours, 8 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Yeah, 5 hour check-in here. Ooh, I also do have all the other makeup that I'm wearing on my face. I do have it listed down below in the description box if you are interested. I'm actually really loving this like eyeshadow look today. Okay, not much to report other than it's looking really good. All right, let's take a look at my final check-in. Hey guys, it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I was just inspecting my face, checking out the 9 hours of wear this Givenchy foundation has just gone through. And it looks really, really good. I hope you can see. I'm trying to see in the monitor. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. This is the side that I didn't powder, and you can see how much more radiant it is than the side that I powdered. But it's not like it's worn any worse. It's not like it's faded away, like the powder kind of helped its longevity. That's not really the case. I think all the powder did was really just kind of bring down the shine a little bit. So I'm happy to report for my fellow dry skin friends out there that if you don't want to powder this foundation, I think that's okay, but just expect for this foundation to get a little bit more glowy as the day goes on, but it wears really beautifully. I don't feel like this side has faded any more than this side. So very happy to report that. And I just think it looks really, really great. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see what it looks like on my forehead. It looks fantastic. No wearing away, no patchiness around my eyes. It looks great. Again, I didn't put any concealer down, so all of this is just foundation. And again, this is the side with powder. This is the side without. And then check out my nose. It looks really good. I still see coverage there. I think it's worn away a teensy bit. I have put on my mask, I've lost track, but several times on and off today. And so it's worn like the tip of my nose, but I still feel like there's foundation there and it doesn't look like it's worn away in any strange way. And it just looks really beautiful. I also, during wear tests, what I will notice is that sometimes around my mouth, foundation will start to look a little cakey. And I think generally it's just from eating, it's just from talking and drinking or whatever. There's a lot of activity that goes on down here, a lot of movement. And this, it looks great. There isn't any kind of like weirdness happening around my mouth. So I'm just really, really pleased. And like I said, I don't think I've ever used a Givenchy foundation before. So I am very, very impressed and I'm really, really happy with the entire experience of this foundation. I love the packaging. The texture is really nice. There is like the slightest hint of fragrance, nothing overpowering, nothing I can even smell once I've applied it. It was like I had to get in real close. And then the wear, and I think it looks great. I mean, everything, thumbs up. I'm so excited I tried this. I wasn't sure. I mean, I was excited to see a new foundation pop up at Sephora, but you know, again, Givenchy foundation, just something I guess it's never really caught my attention, but I'm so glad I tried this one. It is really, really lovely. I'm very, very impressed. So for my first full day wear of this foundation, 2 very big thumbs up. Please let me know if you have any thoughts down below in the comment section. If you guys have tried this foundation, what your thoughts are on this foundation, I would love to hear from you. I'm sure the community would love to hear your mini review. If you feel like sharing it down below, I would love to hear that. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.